welcome to Pilates at home with Vicky. Sorry I can't see you face to face, but hopefully this will just keep you moving at home. We're just going to do 10-15 minutes of standing Pilates to start with, and then we'll move on from there. So do you want to come up nice and tall, feet together to begin with. We're going to bring our toes out, heels out, and just gently find that equal pressure between forefoot and hind foot. So just rocking one way, back onto the heels, forward onto the toes, and coming back to that midpoint. We've just got equal pressure through both forefoot and hind foot, and then gently just swaying in the breeze, going one way and the other, and then coming back to that midpoint where you feel you've got equal pressure through both feet, equal pressure through forefoot and through hind foot. So we're going to lengthen up nice and tall through the legs, keep those kneecaps nice and soft, and then from there, we're just going to imagine the pelvis like a big bowl, marble at the bottom, and we're just going to gently roll forward and roll backwards through the pelvis, rolling the marble forwards, rolling it backwards. As you roll forward, arching through the back, coming back, lengthening through the back, coming up through the front. Good. And then just coming to that midpoint where you are nice and long through the back, going up gently through the front, marble at the bottom of that bowl. So from there, we're going to then lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the back of the neck, tuck that chin down gently, and just make sure your knees are still nice and soft. So from there, that nice tall position, tall back of the neck, just going to do some big circles with those shoulders to alleviate some of that tension through those shoulders. Good. And then we're going to come back, lifting those shoulders up, back and down, really trying to get them moving as much as you can. Good, well done. And then we're just going to lift those shoulders up towards our ears, glide them back together, glide them down your back. Make sure that pelvis is still nice and neutral, knees nice and soft, and we're just going to come into foot series. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to pull up through the pelvic floor, in through the belly button, gently engage through those core muscles. We're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to gently bend through the knees. Breathing in, lift the heels if you're able to. Breathing out, lengthen through, and in as you come back down again. Good, well done. And again, breathing out. In, lift the heels. Out as you lengthen up, and in as you come down. Good, keep going. Lifting the heels, lengthening, and relax down. Keeping those shoulders down, pelvis nice and neutral. Good. Breathing out. In as you lift your heels, out as you lengthen, and in as you come back. Good. And if you need to, rather than coming up onto your toes, you can keep those heels down and just work and bending the knees, holding it, lengthening through the legs, keep the heels down. You can just work with your feet on the floor, keeping it nice and slow. If you're happy to lift the heels and work on that balance, work through that. Good. Keeping those shoulders down, core switched on. Let's do two more. Last one. Good, well done. And relax off. Good, well done. Okay, from there we're going to come into hip twisting standing. So we're going to bring those feet nice and close together. Think about zipping up through the middle. Keep the legs nice and long, soft knees, pelvis nice and neutral, lengthening up through the spine, through the back of the neck, shoulders down and back. Engage through those core muscles as you breathe out. And then keeping the left knee soft, you're going to peel the right heel up. And then you can either work from here, keeping everything from the pelvis up really nice and still, or you can just, and then from there, just taking that knee out and sliding back in again. So imagine your big toes on a pound coin, and you're going to just twist that knee out and come back in again. Keep the pelvis really nice and still. Good. Breathing out, that knee comes out, and in as you come back. Now, if you want to go up to level 2 and bring your foot onto your shin, you can work in that position. So again, keeping everything from the top up, nice and still, pelvis nice and neutral, shoulders down and back, core switched on, breathing out, in as you come back. If you need to just have a chair next to you, you can hold on for balance if you need to. Good. Think about lengthening through the spine, crown of the head, neck nice and long. Let's do 2 more on that side. Breathing out and in, good, out and then relax down. Good, well done. Have a little loosen off through those legs, especially that standing leg. And then we're going to bring feet nice and close together, zip up through the legs, pelvis nice and neutral, soft knees. We're going to lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the back of the neck, relax those shoulders down, you can bring your hands onto your hips. And so you can feel whether you're moving through that pelvis or not. And then from there, breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to engage through the core, pulling up through the pelvic floor, in through the belly button. Breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to keep the right knee soft and lift that left heel up off of the floor. Good, well done. And then from there, we can either work here. Imagine that toes on a pound coin. You're just twisting that knee out and back in again. So keeping the pelvis nice and still. Or if you want to go to level 2, foot onto shin. Good, well done. Up nice and tall through the back of the neck, shoulders down, core switched on. Breathing out as that knee goes out to the side, in as you come back. Again, if you need that chair for a little bit of support, then hold on if you need to. Good. Keep that standing knee nice and soft. Switched on, being nice and tall. Let's do 2 more. Good, well done. And then relax off. And have a little loosen off through the legs. Good, well done. Okay, from there we're just going to get a little bit of movement through our thoracic spine. So we're going to come up nice and tall, but bring your feet hip width apart, soft knees, pelvis nice and neutral. Shoulders down and back. We're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, engage through those core muscles, pulling up through the pelvic floor, in through the belly button. Good. And then from there, we're just going to bring both hands out in front of you. So make sure your shoulders are on top around your ears. Drop those shoulder blades down, making sure you're not arching through the lower back. So just tuck that tailbone down. And then from there, we're going to keep the pelvis really nice and still. And we're going to breathe in as you open up through the arms and the breastbone, but keep the pelvis nice and still. Breathing out as you come back through to the front. Go the other way, breathing in and out. Good, so keeping legs to hips and pelvis really nice and still. Breathing in and out. Keep those shoulders down as you're holding the arms there. Knees nice and soft. Okay, let's just do 1 more on either side, and then we're going to allow ourselves to move through the hips as well. So, come back through to the centre, and we're going to allow ourselves to open that hand out, turn through the chest, and turn through the pelvis as well. Twisting and opening up that hand a little bit further behind us. Coming back through to the front, and then do the same on the other side. So opening up arm, chest, pelvis, open up through that side. Good. And coming back through to the front again. I'm going to open up. Mind the camera fault. Sorry guys, keep going. Open up through the arms, through the pelvis. Let's do 1 more on either side. This is our trial and error piece. And relaxer. Loosen off through your arms. Good. Well done. Okay. And then let's come into our roll down. So keep the feet hip width apart. Nice and soft through the knees. Pelvis nice and neutral. Lengthening up through the spine. Lengthening up through the back of the neck. And then from there, so really want you to still think about each vertebrae moving one at a time. So make sure, imagine I'm behind you, just running my fingers up your spine and down your spine as you peel down through the spine. So keeping the pelvis nice and neutral. Breath in as you breathe out, engage through the core. We're going to start with chin to chest. So gently rolling down, chin to chest, one vertebrae at a time, controlling through each vertebrae. We're going to keep the knees soft. We're going to try and keep that pelvis up tall for as long as possible. And then roll down through the spine, keeping the core switched on. And allow yourself to come down as far as you feel able to. You can tip it through the pelvis too. And then we're going to stack up pelvis first. So really think about, imagine you've got a tail, tuck it down between your legs, and then rolling up through the spine, stacking one vertebrae at a time, up through the spine, shoulders down and back, don't arch through the lower back, don't flare out through the ribs, lengthen through the back of the neck, don't lift that chin up. And again, rolling down, chin to chest. Really focusing on each vertebrae one at a time. Shoulders down, neck nice and long as you come all the way up. Good. And again. Keep breathing. Do two more. Keep that nice mindful movement through the spine, core switched on. Good, well done. Okay, so once you finish that last roll down off, then just take a moment, we're going to move on to the next video. So take a moment, get yourself ready for your mat work session, and we'll be back in a moment. Right, so we're going to come back onto the mat for a bit of mat work Pilates. So get yourself comfortable onto the mat. So come down onto your back. Just make sure that you're comfortable with everything and you're sorted. And we're just going to bring bend the knees up, bring the feet in line with knees, hips and shoulders. And from there, I just want you to make sure that your neck is nice and long. Your shoulder blades are down, snuggled underneath your ribcage, away from your ears. And then just lifting through the hips and then lowering back down onto the mat. And I want you to imagine that 2p coin underneath your breastbone between the spine and the mat, that marshmallow underneath your belly button between the spine and the mat. And just to start with, just squash down onto them. So you feel like you're shortening through the tummy, flattening that back down onto the mat, and then lifting up and away. So keeping the shoulders and the bottom in contact, but arching away from that marshmallow onto the belly button, 2p coin under the breastbone. And then squash down again, feel those tummy muscles working. And then lifting up and away. And then we're going to come down. down. So we're going to bring that belly button down, so you're just squashing at least halfway onto that marshmallow, a little bit more if you feel that you arch through your lower back. And just bring your breastbone down so that you can feel your spine in contact with that 2p coin. And just from there, I want you to imagine, just take a picture of what you feel, the pressure of your back onto the mat. I'm going to keep that pressure the same as we work through the exercises. So from here, we're just going to start off coming into 100. So we're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to engage through the pelvic floor. So pulling up through the pelvic floor, down through the belly button, just gently. Breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to float one leg to tabletop. Breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to float the other leg to joint. Good. From here, keep those shoulders down, keep that neck nice and long, keep that pressure down onto that marshmallow, that 2p coin. We're going to take a breath in, as you breathe out, tap one foot to touch the floor, breathe in as you come back to the top. Breathe out, lower down, in as you come back to tabletop. Good. So we're going to keep that pressure of your back onto the mat the same. If you feel like your back's lifting away from the marshmallow, that 2p coin, then tap slightly closer to your bottom, and it should just take some of that pressure off. If you want to work slightly harder, you can maybe bring your arms across your chest, and just keep it using those tummy muscles and those core muscles to keep that control. And if you want to work harder again, then tap the feet out further, breathing out as you lower, in as you come back up, and that will work more through those core muscles. But find a position that you feel like you're working through the tummy, but you're not arching or lifting away from the mat. You're keeping those tummy muscles working gently. Breathing out as you tap, in as you lift. As you keep repeating through that, you feel like you're getting a bit tired. Again, just try and keep that back down in contact with that marshmallow, that 2p coin. Make sure you're not lifting through your shoulders and working through your neck. Let's do 2 more on either side. Good, well done. And then lower one foot to the floor. Bring the other one down to join it. Lengthen one leg away, and lengthen the other leg away. Have a little stretch through your arms. Lengthen through. Big breath in, and out. Relax down to the mat. Breathing in, big stretch through. Breathing out, flatten down. Bring your arms back down by your side. Bend one leg up to tabletop. Onto the mat. Bring the other one up to join it. And then from there, we're going to work into hip twist. So I'm going to give you level 1 to work out with your feet on the floor. But if you want to come into level 2 at tabletop, I shall show you that one as well. So make sure that neck's nice and long, shoulders down. And just come down onto that marshmallow underneath your belly button, 2p coin underneath your breastbone. I'm going to make sure that we're nice and neutral through the spine. So we're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, gently pull up through the pelvic floor, down through the belly button. And then hip twist level 1, breath in as you breathe out. We're just going to take one knee out to the side, breathing in as you come back to the centre. Breathing out, take the other leg out to the side, in as you come back to the centre. All the time keeping that pelvis really nice and still, and making sure you're not rocking onto one side of your back or the other as you take that leg out to the side. So you can either carry on there. If you want to come into level 2, just pause, take a breath in. So you breathe out, float one leg to tabletop. Breath in as you breathe out, bring the other leg to join it. You're going to imagine the shins are like the front and back page of a book. We're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to open the front page of the book. Breathe in, come back to the centre. Breathe out, open the back cover of the book, and back to the centre. Keeping that same pressure of your back onto the mat, Down through the pelvic floor, keeping that back onto the mat. Breathing out as you come out to the side, in as you come back to the centre. And keep that control, keep your shoulders relaxed, neck nice and long. And make sure that foot's going out with the knee. Let's do one more on either side, or enough to equal you up on both sides. And then from there, just hug those knees into your chest. If you're in that level 1 position, bring one knee in towards you, bring the other one up to join it. Just hug knees into chest. And then if you pop your hands onto your knees, do a big circle of those knees over your chest. And back in the other direction. And then hug knees into chest one more time. Lower one leg down. And bring the other one down to join it. Good. So we're going to work through those upper abdominals a little bit now. So from there, pelvis nice and neutral, shoulders down, neck nice and long. We're going to pop our hands behind our back. Make sure your back is still staying nice and neutral to begin with. We're going to take a breath in as we breathe out, engage through those core muscles, putting up through the pelvic floor, down through the belly button. We're going to keep the neck nice and long, keep the elbows wide. We're going to shorten the distance from rib cage to pelvis. So don't lift with your neck, but lift with those upper abdominals just underneath the rib cage. So breath in, and as you breathe out, a little lift up, and then breathing in as you come back down. Breathing out. Lifting up, in as you come back down. Good. Feel it working underneath the rib cage. Keep the neck nice and long, elbows wide. As those tummy muscles get a bit tired, just make sure you're still breathing and that neck stays nice and long. Imagine you've got an orange tucked in between chin and chest. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Good, well done. And then just lengthen down through the legs. Lengthen up through the arms. A big stretch through as you breathe in. Breathing out. Relaxing down onto the mat. Breathe in, reach through. Breathe out. Relax down one more time. Bring your arms back down by your side. Bend one leg up. Bring the other one up to join it. And then from there, just reset. So make sure feet, knees, hips and shoulders are in a line. Drop the shoulders down, neck nice and long, pelvis nice and neutral. And then from there, we're going to take a breath in as you breathe out, engage through the core muscles. We're just going to come into double leg stretch. So you can either work on this from the feet on the floor, or if you want to, you can come up into tabletop. So breath in as you breathe out when engaging through the core. Breath in as you breathe out. We're going to float one leg to tabletop. Breath in as you breathe out, bring the other leg to join it. If you want to keep your feet on the floor, do so, that's fine. And then we're going to float both arms straight up towards the ceiling, but keep the collarbones wide, shoulders down, so make sure you're not reaching up or taking the shoulders up towards your ears. Keep that same pressure of your back onto the mat. We're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to tap one foot to the floor, lengthen both arms above our head, and then circle the arms around as the leg comes back up. So breathing out as you lengthen, in as you circle around, keeping that same pressure at the back on the mat. And to work slightly harder, you can lengthen that leg further away, but make sure you keep that same pressure, your back on the mat. Breathing out to lengthen, breathing in, coming through. Remember, you can keep those toes tapping nice and close if you need to, or if you want to, if you're working with the feet on the floor, lengthening one leg, sliding back up, lengthen the other leg, coming back up. So work at a position that you're happy with. We're going to do 2 more on either side. Well done. Have a hug those knees into your chest. Well done. And then circle those knees over your chest. So hands on knees and big circle of those knees. Good. Back in the other direction. Hug one more time, knees to chest. I'm going to lower one leg down and bring the other one down to join it. Good, so last exercise on our back here, we're going to come into our shoulder bridge. You know, it's one of my favourites. So we're going to bring those feet in nice and close to your bottom. We're going to drop the shoulders down. Make sure you're nice and neutral onto the mat. Start with your arms by your side, and we're going to think about really peeling one vertebrae at a time up off of the mat. So we're going to take a breath in as you breathe out, engage through the core muscles. Breath in as you breathe out. We're going to really squash down onto that marshmallow. You'll feel your coccyx, your sacrum start to peel up. And then one vertebrae at a time as you peel the vertebrae off the mat. We're going to keep a little bit of tension through the tummy so we don't arch through the lower back. And then as you lower down, we're going to think about dropping that breastbone down first, shorten through the tummy muscles, and then one vertebrae at a time as you come down onto the mat. Good. Keep breathing. We're going to go again when you're ready. Healing up through coccyx, sacrum, working through the tummy, working through the bottom. You've got good movement through your spine to make it slightly harder. You can bring your arms across your chest. Healing up, really mindfully thinking one vertebrae at a time as you come up. One vertebrae at a time, starting with that breastbone as you come down. Let's do 2 more. Well done. Keep breathing. Last one. Nice. Good work, team. Just bring your arms out wide, feet and knees together. We're going to roll both knees to one side as you look away towards the other side. Keep the shoulders flat. Just feel that big stretch for that top side of the body. Roll his knees back through to the centre, arms wide, knees across to the other side. Look away from the knees, open up through the upper side of the body. Keep breathing. knees back through to the centre. Good, well done. I'll give you a minute to just come into side line. The next section will be in our side line position. See you in a minute. So we're going to come down onto our side and just work a little bit on the hips and legs. So from your sideline position, so just be really cautious in this position. I want your feet to be in line with your hips, but your knees can be towards the front edge of the mat. So you've got just maybe a 90-degree angle at your knees. The key thing is if you're doing the exercise and you're not feeling it where you should be feeling it, you'll probably need to just adjust your position slightly. So, I'm going to come down. Imagine someone's looking directly down from above, and initially just so they see your side profile, but then I just want you to tip forward a little bit so the people above can just see your back a little bit more than they can see your front. And I want you just to make sure that you're not sinking down into the mat, that you're lifting and lengthening through the spine so that you're nice and long through the spine, nice and long through the back of the neck. And we're just going to make sure that you're not arching or hollowing through the lower spine, but coming into that nice long position. Little gap in between your waist and the mat. So from here, we're going to come into the clam. So we're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to engage through the core muscles. So level 1 of clam is breathing in as you breathe out, just keeping the heels together, lifting that top knee up. Breathing in as you come back down again. You can either work here in level 1, or if you're happy to, we can float both feet up off of the mat, breath in, and as you breathe out, lifting that top knee up, breathing out, lowering down. Keep that little gap in between your waist and the mat. Make sure the core switched on, spine's nice and long. And after a few repetitions, you should feel it just at the back of the hip. If you don't, then just adjust your position slightly. Maybe tip forward a little bit more. Really think about lengthening through that upper side of the spine. Good. Breathing out and in as you come back down. Good. Two more. Good, well done. And relax your feet down. So we're going to lengthen the legs all the way down to the end of the mat, but then bring them to the front edge of the mat. So they just come in slightly. And then from there again, just make sure the pelvis is nice and neutral, so you lengthen through the back, coming up through the front, a little gap in between waist and mat. We're going to engage your core muscles. And then I want you to just lift that top leg just a little way off the bottom leg, but make that top leg even longer than the lower leg. Breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to tap the toe down behind. Breathe in as you lift above the other foot, and breathe out as you tap in front. So it's not a big lift, and your toes should point down slightly. Think about lifting with the heel, and you should feel that again in the back of your back of the hip. Move down through the side. If you can't, then we think about lengthening through. Maybe lean forward slightly. Make sure you're not using your back. Good. Out as you tap down, in as you lift. You should be feeling that through the back of the hip. Keep breathing. Do two more. Good, well done. Last one. And relax off. Good, well done. So we're going to bring that top leg either behind or in front, just so that it's out of the way so we can lift through this lower leg. So go with where you're comfortable with that top leg. I don't mind which position it goes in. Go for what you're most comfortable with. We're going to keep that length through the spine, core switched on. You're going to take a breath in as you breathe out. You're going to lift that lower leg, breathe it out. Just touch the floor, but don't let the leg go down onto the floor. So you're keeping that inner thigh working as you lift, controlling as you lower, and then lifting straight up as it touches the floor, lift up again. And you should feel that through the inner thigh. Breathing out as you lift, in as you lower. Keep that spine nice and long. Let's do 3 more. Good, all done. And relax. Good, all done. So let's swap sides. We're going to come into our clown position on the other side. So from there, feet in line with hips and shoulders, and then just making sure the knees bent in front, making sure you're nice and long through the spine, little gap in between your waist and the mat. If someone's looking directly down from above, just see slightly more of your back than your front. And then from there, pelvis nice and neutral. We're going to take a breath in as you breathe out, engage through the core muscles. And you can either come into level 1, where you keep your feet on the floor, breathing out as you lift, in as you lower. If you're happy to go into level 2, where we lift the feet up, keep that little gap in between your waist and the mat, breathing out as you lift, in as you come back down. Good. Breathing out, in as you come back down. If you're not feeling it after a few repetitions on the outside of the hip, just really think about lengthening through the spine and maybe leaning forward slightly. Just really engage through the back. Do 3 more. Good, well done. Lower the feet down as they're lifted. You're going to lengthen through both legs, and then bring your feet to the front edge of the mat. And just make sure again you've got that little gap, so your spine's nice and long, pelvis is nice and neutral, and maybe just a slight lean forward so that people looking above can just see a bit more of your back than your front. We're going to lift that top leg up, lengthen it down, make that top leg longer than the bottom leg. Breath in as you breathe out, tapping down. Obviously we've engaged our core, I don't think I said that. Engage through those core muscles, breathing out as you tap down, in as you lift. Good. And if you're not feeling it through the outside of the hip, truly trying to lengthen through that top leg, maybe take a little lean forward, keep that gap in between waist and mat. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Good, well done. And relax. Right, so we're going to then bring that top leg either behind or in front. I don't mind which, just so we can lift through that lower leg. So nice long spine, pelvis neutral, core switched on. Breath in as you breathe out, going to lift. Breathe in, lower down. Good, breathe out, lift. Breathe in, lower down. Controlling through that inner thigh all the time, not allowing the leg to rest on the floor, but just as soon as it touches, you lifting back up again. Good, well done. Let's do 3 more. Good, and relax off. Good, well done. Okay, so you know what's coming. Just because you're not in class doesn't mean that you can't attempt a plank. So we're going to just do one, and then I'll leave it to you as your option whether you want to do more or not. But I'm just cautious that when I'm not watching you in the class doing it, that I don't want you to be doing any poor technique or feeling anything through your lower back. So let's just do one 1 minute plank. Obviously, if you're getting any back pain at all, stop. If you're feeling any pain, stop. If you feel like your muscles are working, you're shaking a bit, that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to come onto our front. Bring those shoulders down away from your ears. We're going to lengthen through the back of the neck. Pelvis nice and neutral. We're going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, step through the core muscles. Breath in again. As you breathe out, we're going to lift up. And really thinking about pelvis nice and neutral. So imagine you've got a tail, tuck it between your legs, pulling up through the belly button, up through the lower ribs, in towards the spine. And make sure you're not arching through the lower spine, but you're keeping that tucked. Good, well done. And keep breathing. This is when you can start thinking about your coffee, post-Pilates coffee. Good, well done. Good, we're almost there. 10 seconds to go. Good, well done. 3, 2, 1, and relax off. Well done. Just come back, sit onto your heels, arms outstretched, forehead and breastbone down towards the mat. You just have a stretch through that lower back. So from there, if you want to do a couple of more planks, then do them nicely, do them carefully, and I'll see you on the next video for our stretch. Well done. Right, so just for the final section of this week's class, we're going to do our stretch out. So, I'm going to get you to come up onto all fours, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And we'll just think about lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the back of the neck. And then from there, we're going to come into our cat-cow stretch. So we're going to tuck chin to chest, we're going to lift up through the breastbone, lift up through the belly button, tuck that tailbone down between your knees, big stretch through, and then we're going to lift up through the other way. Lifting tailbone, lowering belly button, lowering breastbone, lifting nose forward. And then again, tuck down, chin to chest, lift the breastbone, lift the belly button, curling through the lower spine. And then lift it up through the other way. Good. One more. Lifting back up through the other way. And then just lengthening through the spine. So make sure that spine is nice and neutral. Shoulders down, neck nice and long. And we're just going to come in to thread the needle, just using the arms. So we're going to keep the core switched on, and then we're just going to thread your right hand underneath your left. Bend that left elbow. Ear and shoulder come towards the mat, but don't rest on the mat. Breathe in, come back up. Breathe out, go the other way. Breathing in, come back up. And neck nice and long, shoulders down. Breathing out as you slide that knee, thread through, and then coming back up onto all fours. Do one more on either side. And then I'm going to get you to curl through the spine again. So chin to chest, lift up through the breastbone, up through the belly button. As you've got that tail, tuck it down. And then from there, you're going to keep that big curve in the spine as you sit back towards your heels. Try and keep your breastbone away from your thighs. You really stretch out through the back. Just take a couple of breaths there. And then walk those fingers out, allow the forehead and breastbone to come down towards the mat, and sitting back onto the heels, having a big stretch through the back. Good, well done. And walk those fingers back in towards you. And we're going to come into our mermaid sitting position. So from here, we're going to bring both legs to the side. We're going to come up nice and tall through the spine. So we're going to stretch through the hip flexors and the quads on that on the leg with the foot that's closest to you. So bring your foot in towards your bottom. Bring your knee back away from you. And in this position, you might already start to get a stretch through here. So, and then we're going to imagine lengthening down through the back, coming up through the front. So you really think about flattening through that lower back, and that will stretch a little bit more. And if you want to increase a little bit more, you can turn away from that side. Feel the stretch in the front of the thigh. I'm going to hold it there, keep breathing. Hold it for one more breath. Good. And then gently relax up through that leg. I'm going to bring that leg that you just stretched out in front of you. Make up nice and tall through your spine. And then we're just going to reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So reach up and then leaning forward towards that foot. So down either onto the shin. Leaning, reaching forward towards the foot, and you should just feel a big opening stretch through the lower back and potentially through that leg as well. It kind of depends on where you're feeling your tightness today. You're going to keep breathing through it, so work with your breath. Breathing in as you breathe out, try and work into that stretch. And then if you're comfortable too, you can allow your head to just relax forward. And just might increase that stretch slightly. Hold it for one more breath. And then we're going to come back up nice and tall. So we're going to bring both feet across to the other side. And then from there, you're going to bring your heel to your bottom, bring that knee back. Good. And from there, really think about lengthening down through the back, pulling up through the front to increase that stretch. And I'm going to turn away from that side, pull that big stretch through the front of the thigh. And keep breathing, holding that stretch. Good, well done. Just hold it for one more breath. Good. And we're going to bring that leg out in front of us. I'm going to lengthen up through the back, so nice and tall. And then we're going to take both hands up towards the ceiling. And then from there, you're going to reach up and forward, down in the direction of that foot, don't mind how far you go, you should just feel a bit of a stretch, maybe through the back, maybe through the back of the leg. Again, probably different one side to the other as well. So just work with what you're comfortable with. And work with your breath. And then just, if you're comfortable too, you can just drop your chin down and allow yourself to kind of sink into that stretch a little bit more. Again, keep breathing, work with that breath. Hold for one more breath. Good. And then gently slide those hands up your leg, up nice and tall. Good. I'm going to bring the legs in, either into a cross-leg position or out in front of you. I don't really mind where you go. Go with what you're comfortable doing. And come up nice and tall. I'm going to try and keep those sitting legs down onto the mat. And from there, you're going to bring your right hand down onto the mat. Try and keep, especially that left sitting bone, both sitting bones down heavy onto the mat. Take your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to reach over, but keep that heaviness down through the pelvis. You should feel a big opening stretch through the left side. Good. Again, just work with your breath. And if you want to, in that position, you can either hold it, or if you want to, just turn face down. You might feel the stretch change slightly. Or you can look up towards the ceiling, might feel that change again. And work into where you're tight. Good. One more breath. And then come back up and over. Good, well done. And then so we're going to bring the left hand down onto the mat. We're going to bring the right hand up towards the ceiling. And I'll reach up and over. Those sitting bones down onto the mat. And then you can just play with that position slightly, looking down. Looking up towards the ceiling. Just play with that position, work out where you're most tight, work into that area of tension. Keep the sitting bones heavy and just try and relax into that stretch. Good. And then we're going to come up and back into that nice tall sitting position. Good, well done. So from here, just want you to just have a little rotation of the spine. So again, thinking up nice and tall, really lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the back of the neck. You're going to pop your left hand onto your right knee, and your right hand behind you. Keep up nice and tall as you gently work into that rotation round to the right. Good. Take a breath in as you breathe out. See if you can just gently work into it a little bit further. Good. Hold for one more breath. Back through to the centre, nice and gently. Lengthen through the spine again. Right hand onto left knee. Left hand comes behind. And gently working into that stretch. Big breath in as you breathe out. Try and just work into a little bit more. One more breath in as you breathe out, gently come back through to the centre. Okay, so from that nice tall sitting position, you can do this bit on a chair if you want to. Coming up really nice and tall, really thinking about the pressure through the sitting bones, shoulders down, back of the neck nice and long. Just going to do 2 seated roll downs. So we're going to drop our chin to our chest and rolling down through the spine. going to turn sideways, so we're going to roll down through the spine. And think about sinking that breast going deep into the rib cage, rolling through the spine, and then dropping back off the sitting bones and have that big C-shaped curve of the spine, shoulders down towards the hips. Then I want you to really mindfully stack up from sitting bones, pelvis, lower back, mid back, down through the shoulders, through the back of the neck, stacking up one vertebra at a time. Lengthening through the back of the neck, don't lift the chin. Let's do one more of those. Rolling down, chin to chest. Sinking that breastbone deep into the rib cage. Rolling back of the sitting bones, big C-shaped curve of the spine. Stacking up really mindfully from the sitting bones. Shoulders down, stack up through the lower neck. One vertebra at a time, thinking lengthening through the crown of the head. Good, well done. So from there, just want you to take some big breaths. So 3 big breaths in. So you breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head. So you breathe out, keep that length through the spine, but relax down through the shoulder blades. And again. Length through the spine, relax through the shoulder blades. One more time. Well done. Good. I hope that just keeps you going for this week. If you want to revisit any of the sections of the exercises, then you're welcome to. Take care, and there will be more next week. Good work. Well done. Bye.